I apologize for the other videos. There's lots of static and stuff on there. It's because I'm moving my iPad when I'm writing. So hopefully I've got it stationary now. It won't make so much noise. But let's go ahead and do synthetic division and long division with this polynomial as well. So recall what we need to do first is we need to actually take the constant that's in our binomial there, and we need to place it inside a little box. Okay, so we're going to take that -3 there, and we're going to place it inside a little box. Now when I place it inside this box here, I'm going to change the sign a bit. Okay, so that -3 would become a +3, of course. And so let's go ahead and use the right color here. I'm going to color code it. So we have -3 becoming a +3 when we place it in the box. And then we go ahead and put the coefficients and the constants in of our trinomial along the right side of that. Okay, so the very first coefficient there is 2. Let's go ahead and place that first. The next coefficient we have is -9, so I'm going to put -9 here. And the last coefficient that we have, or sorry, the constant that we have is 8. So place 8 right there. Alright, we almost have this set up. The last thing we're going to do to keep things organized is draw a line down here. Okay. Next, we're going to go ahead and bring down the 2. So bring down that 2 and multiply the 2 times the 3 that we have in the box there. Taking the 2 times the 3 that we have in the box, that makes 6, okay? Alright, so where do we place that 6? Well, we place it underneath the next number there that we have, -9. Okay, so we place that 6 underneath the -9, and then the operation that we do when we do synthetic divisions, we add these. Okay, so -9 plus 6, that's going to be a -3, right? So we put the -3 underneath here. And then we repeat the thing that we just did to the 2 that's beside it. Okay, so we take that -3, multiply it by the 3 that's in the box, and when we do that multiplication, -3 times 3, that's -9. The -9 goes underneath the next number there. And then what we can do is take the 8 plus the -9, and when we do so, we get a -1. Okay? And so we happen to have a remainder on this problem of -1. Alright? And how you get your variables, of course, our leading coefficient is going to be 2. But how do we get the variable that goes with that? Well, look at the degree on each of your trinomial and your binomial here. The degree of the leading term here is 2, and the degree of your binomial's leading term is 1. Okay? Subtract those. 2 minus 1 is 1, and so we know we'll have n to the first power. Okay? So we get 2n to the first power, or just 2n, and then it goes in descending order of powers from there. So the next number is just going to be -3. Okay? And what do we do with that? What do we do with that remainder that we have there? Well, the remainder, all we need to do is place a -1 over. Okay, so -1 over our binomial that we have over there. So we're going to place that over n -3. Okay. So you place your remainder over your divisor at the end there. Okay. And that's our final answer. Let's go ahead and do long division on the same polynomial. Okay. So long division, we should get the same answer. Let's go ahead and check this out here. We go ahead and draw our division sign, and we place our trinomial inside of it. So we have 2n squared minus 9n plus 8. Okay. Out front of that trinomial, we go ahead and put our binomial n minus 3. Okay. The very first step, once again, is we take the leading term in here, and we divide it by our leading term of our binomial. Okay, so 2n squared divided by n will be equal to 2n. Okay, and we place that 2n in the n's place up top there, so we have 2n over in the n's place up top. And then after we do that, we take that 2n and multiply it by the binomial we have out in front. And that answer goes underneath these two terms here. Okay, so we place it underneath our answer underneath the two terms over there when we multiply it by the binomial there. So 2n times the n that's out front there will be 2n squared. 2n times the negative 3 will be negative 6n. And then after we get that, the thing we need to do next is subtract the top two terms from these two there. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and subtract the two terms that we just got from the top two terms there. Now I could subtract, but it's easier just to distribute the negative and change the signs of everything that we have there, okay? So we're going to distribute the negative out front. So that becomes a negative 2n squared plus 6n, and then we can add instead of subtract. And people find adding easier, and they make less sign errors. So we're going to take the 2n squared plus negative 2n squared, that's 0. Negative 9n minus 6n, or sorry, negative 9n plus 6n, my bad, is going to be, and I'm going to use a different color for this. Let's see here. Negative 9n plus 6n is negative 3n. There we go. Switch colors, sorry. And then the next time we bring down this 8, so we have plus 8 there. And now the whole cycle repeats over again. So we're going to take this leading term and divide it by our leading term in our binomial there. Okay? So we take the negative 3n divided by the n, and that gives us, of course, negative 3. Okay? So we're going to take that negative 3 and place it up top here. So minus 3 up top. Place that in the constants. And then we're going to take that negative 3 and multiply it by our binomial and place the answer underneath these two numbers here, these two terms. Okay? So negative 3 times n would be a negative 3n. Negative 3 times a negative 3 would be plus 9. Alright? And once again, we want to we're going to subtract the top here from the bottom two terms that we have, but people find it easier to actually just distribute the negative and add. So we're going to distribute the negative we have out front there, and so that ends up being a positive 3n and then a minus 9. Okay? And then we'll go ahead and add these two things. Negative 3n plus 3n is 0. 8 plus negative 9 is negative 1. So we have a remainder of negative 1 again. Okay. Let's go ahead and write our answer out now. So we have 2n minus 3. And once again, we have a remainder of negative 1. So we have minus 1, all divided by our divisor of n minus 3. N minus 3. And there's our final answer. Any questions you have on these things, you can email me at any time.